Maybe you from the 1970s, when the Los Angeles Rams was known as the fearsome foursome because of that defensive line. Or maybe you in the city of St. Louis, the gateway to the Midwest, where the greatest show on turf brought home the first ever Super Bowl championship. Or maybe you in the here and now, with the Rams back in LA, winners of Super Bowl 56. You can rock Eric Dickerson. You can rock Marshall Faulk, Isaiah Bruce, and Kurt Warner. Or maybe you rocking Cooper Cup, Aaron Donald, and Matthew Stafford. It doesn't matter, but when it comes to this, it's all about the Los Angeles Rams. Horns up, Rams South. Time to talk Rams football.
Good day, good people. Good day to Ramily Nation. I hope my Ramily fans are doing very well. It is Thursday. It is October 3rd, and it's time for Ramily Talk. Now, you're not getting the usual enthusiastic interest because ain't nothing to be enthusiasm about. As we already know, Week 5 is set off to kick tonight as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take a trip to the ATL to take on Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South Divisional matchup. Unfortunately, the Rams, on the other hand, they'll be seeing the Green Bay Packers this Sunday at SoFi Stadium, 4:25 kickoff. And for some reason, I believe that game is on CBS. This is our third matchup with the NFC North. We are 0-2 because we took our ass to Soldier Field and we got beat by the Chicago Bears. We got beat by Caleb Williams, a rookie quarterback, and the Chicago Bears. But I tell you, it's thought we were gonna be doing something good. We got a big win over the 49ers the previous week, and it was at home, our home opener. It was a great feeling. It was like, all right, we can probably do something, despite the fact not having Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua. And then we go to Chicago. Yep. Then we go to Chicago, and this happens. Yet again, we can't put the ball in the end zone, and we have to settle for field goals in the red zone, while the opposing team gets to put up touchdowns. The Bears scored 3 touchdowns and a field goal. The Rams scored 3 field goals and a touchdown. And the funny thing is, why do we, Sean McVay, get into the red zone and we don't run the football to get the football in the end zone? Why do we have to get in the red zone? We have to pass it. Why? Just tell me why that we get in the red zone and we decide to pass the football. It is so frustrating to sit here and be like, we have a great back, okay? Kerry Williams is a great back. Give him his touches so we can put the ball in the end zone. Matter of fact, our only touchdown was Kerry Williams on a rushing touchdown. But guess when it happened? It happened in the fourth quarter. And again, that we trailed the whole goddamn time because we took the early 3-0 lead. Well, we took a 6-0 lead, and then Chicago whipped off like 17 on that before we actually made it 17-9. It's very disheartening. 2 turnovers, both by Matthew Stafford, an interception and a fumble loss, both on Matthew Stafford. Could have been 3 because he made a stupid ass throw, but lucky enough for us, the ball actually touched the ground, thankfully for us. And it's just, we lost to the Bears, man. The Bears really don't have an offense. Like, they really don't have an offense, and we gained them in yards, but we turned the ball over twice. We have more first downs than them, and we hit the ball more than them. We gave them short field, and they took advantage of it. Like literally, like what the hell are we doing? Matthew Stafford, 20 for 29, 224 in an interception. See, it's not the amount of attempts Matthew Stafford had in this game. He only threw the ball 29 times. Cameron Williams had 19 carries for 94 yards and a rushing touchdown. It's that we get in the red zone and McVay doesn't want to run the football. Like, bruh, Cameron Williams could have had about two more touchdowns. And we having a different conversation today as we get ready for week 5 of the NFL season. Instead of us being 1-3, we could be 2-2. Just like the Chicago Bears. They're 2-2 and we 1-3. Caleb Williams only threw for 157 yards. 157 yards. Like I don't know what McVay is trying to do with the offense. But it seems like if you were to run the ball, maybe we don't give them short fields. The fumble didn't happen with Kerryon Williams. It happened with Matthew Stafford, meaning he was getting pressured and they knocked the ball out of his hand and they recovered it, giving them a short field, which they scored on. The interception, the Chicago Bears scored on. You can say at least 10 to 14 points of the Chicago Bears came off Matthew Stafford turnovers, which one is not his fault because when you get pressured, things that tend to happen when the offensive line ain't blocking. Interception, no excuse for the interception. But Stafford does those. Nevertheless, Caleb Williams didn't have to throw for 200 yards to beat us. That's what I want y'all to understand. Caleb Williams didn't have to even throw for 200 yards to beat us. DeAndre Swift ran for 93 yards and a touchdown. He also had 7 catches for 72 yards. Like, this is a game that the Rams lost more than Chicago won. Now, give them credit. They did take the turnovers and turn them into points, what you're supposed to do. But I don't know. I just don't understand. This week to week thing is ridiculous. You found a way to beat your biggest rival in your home opener, which is a massive win over the San Francisco 49ers. Then you go to Chicago and you don't look nothing like the team that you looked at the previous week. You're running the ball effectively against the 49ers, which is very hard to do, by the way. It's the 49ers we're talking about. The Bears defense ain't better than the 49ers defense. I know that's not what y'all telling me. Now, Chicago has a defense. I'm not saying they don't, but they ain't better than the 49ers defense. Tell me right now how many people out here, even if you're not a Rams fan and you just happen to listen to this podcast, which I very greatly appreciate it. By the way, Spotify, Emma Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio is where you can listen to this. Also, our Playmakers Network YouTube channel. How many of y'all would take the Bears defense over the 49ers defense? Strictly defense. How many of y'all out there would take the Bears defense over the 49ers defense? Because I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of people that would take the 49ers defense over the Bears defense. Not saying the Bears defense is sorry, they suck and whatnot. No, they have a good defense. But we played a better defense in our home building, which wasn't even our home building because it's the 49ers we're talking about here. And we was able to beat them and run the ball effectively against them. But yet we don't use that same game plan against Chicago. Defense, running games, travel, home or away. Use it. I don't understand. I really don't understand. And knowing that I be being a Rams fan and talking about the Los Angeles Rams like I do, one of the articles on the Rams website or app, if you got the app, I have the app. They gave us 5 interesting stats from a week 4 loss to the Chicago Bears. One of those stats says Rams reached season highs in pass in pressure rate 50% and blitz rate 34.6% against Chicago. The Rams pressured Bears quarterback Caleb Williams on half of his dropbacks on Sunday, which is the 4th highest pressure rate of the season for any team. Outside linebacker Jared First and Brian Young both racked up 5 pressures. Outside linebacker Michael Hyatt had 3, and defensive ends Caleb Turner and Brandon Fitz each had 2. How many sacks did we have? How many sacks did we have on Caleb Williams? Can anybody answer that question for me? No. Let me give you that answer, okay? Let me tell you, all right? We sacked Caleb Williams 3 times. The man dropped back to pass 23 times, and we sacked him 3 times. So 20 of those passing plays, he wasn't touched with the ball in his hand. 17 for 23, which is damn good if we're talking about the percentage wise of his completions, which means he was making his passes count against our defense. Let me give you the percentage of that. Caleb Williams completed 74% of his passes against the Los Angeles Rams defense. 74%. All right. On Sunday. We only sacked him 3 times. But we pressured him on half of his dropbacks. So 1, the D-line got home 3 times. So that's one thing we can look at. 2, what the hell's going on in our secondary? Well, I can't say what's going on in the hell in our secondary because they only threw 457 yards. Turnovers. That's the only thing. Turnovers. Because when you turn the ball over, when you throw an interception and you fumble it, you give them a short field, which means they can just make things happen quick, fast, and in a hurry, without having to put in a lot of pressure on their rookie QB. Yeah, because I can tell you, look, and they first 3 drives, right? They had punted. Because they got the ball first to start the game. 5 plays, ended in a punt. The next possession, 3 plays, ended in a punt. 8 plays, ended in a punt. That's their first 3. That's their first 3 drives. First 3 drives, they all ended in the punts. We came back with 2 field goals. And you know what happened? The very next play that we had at our 20-yard line, Matthew Stafford got sacked, and he fumbled the football. Was put the ball at the 16-yard line going in, and 3 plays later from 16 yards out, the Bears scored a touchdown. We missed the field goal. Kenny's first missed field goal. It happens, so I'm not going to harp on him. It happens. Missed field goals happens. We understand. But then all of a sudden in the second half, 12 plays after we kicked the field goal to make it 9-10. 12 plays, 74 yards, and a touchdown for the Chicago Bears. And that's the one he threw to DJ Moore for the first time for a touchdown between the 2 connections. His first touchdown was to fellow Ricky Romeo Dotson last week against Houston, if I remember correctly. Was it against Houston? Houston or the Colts? The Colts, Indianapolis Colts. We scored a touchdown in 6 plays, and then 5 plays later, the Bears scored a touchdown. They went 70 yards in 5 plays. This is in the 3rd quarter. No, this is in the 4th quarter. Beginning of the 4th quarter, because we scored to end the quarter, we kicked it off, and we let them do this in 5 plays. We talking Caleb Williams to DJ Moore for 7 yards. Caleb Williams to DeAndre Swift for 5 yards. They had a false start pin, so they went back. And for some odd reason, we found Cole Kmet open for 22 yards. And then DeAndre Swift takes off for 36 yards and a touchdown. Just ridiculous stuff, man. Offense and defense. Like I just don't know. And the crazy part is, in this game, Matthew Stafford moved to 10th place all time in passing yards, which congratulations to you, Matthew Stafford. But I'm pretty sure you can care less about that because we took a goddamn L to the Bears. To the Bears. They are rebuilding. They are not trying to win right now. But yet they was able to beat us. Very, very depressing. Okay. Very depressing. Now we're 1-3 going into week 5. And this is the final game before our bye week because we have a bye week in week 6. Okay. Week 6 is our bye week. So now we are right back where we were when we getting ready to face the 49ers. We are in a do or die situation. Because we would have went down 0-3 to the 49ers, which was likely to happen, we could say our season is over with. But we got a surprising win over them at home for once. It was like, okay, we might be able to do something. Let's go to Chicago and handle business there. Because they ain't like they on an unbeatable team. They are a very beatable team, and we don't take advantage of them. We don't take advantage of it. So now we're in a do or die situation. So let me take my long commercial break here. And then when we come back, we're going to discuss the upcoming game with the Green Bay Packers in SoFi Stadium.
Porter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Welcome to Ringside Chaos, the professional wrestling discussion segment of the Bear of Texas podcast. The only professional wrestling podcast in the world where pro wrestling is discussed passionately, with confidence, with great knowledge, and most of all, in the most sophisticated way. So brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because chaos is about to be unleashed. Thing with Tony Khan now being in talks to buy WWE, I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to this with Ricky Litwinkowicz, aka the Master of Mayhem, and he honestly believes that me talking about Tony Khan buying WWE is basically I'm kind of wasting my time because Ricky believes it's never going to happen. Okay, now don't get me wrong, Ricky, I respect what he says. He could very well be correct, but I got to be honest with you. The fact that Khan is interested in supposedly buying WWE, to me, that's definitely worth talking about. Now, I should mention this. Shout out to Ricky, by the way. And I gotta mention this, that even Jim Cornette already had something to say. And he said, and I quote, "Ridiculous to think that could happen," unquote. A wrestling fan that's been super supportive of Brody Lee as a wrestler and everything that WWE could have done with him and, everything that he could have shown and, offered for the wrestling business. For me, I wasn't just a fan of Brody Lee himself, like in character. I strongly respected him, as a human being. Like, I had a lot of respect for Jonathan Huber. That's Mr. Brody Lee's real name. So basically, I had a lot of respect for Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and of course, Mr. Jonathan Huber. This particular episode was about World Class Championship Wrestling. And the episode title is, WCCW Wrestling's Lone Star Legacy. And because I am the Bear of Texas, and I do hail from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of the state of Texas, World Class Championship Wrestling was basically my territory as far as being a wrestling fan goes.
I love you morons. You kids in the block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, But, this game, after everything Manchester United has been, doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not one, not two, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ramily Talk here on this Thursday, October 3rd. Now that we got rid of the disappointment of that loss in Chicago, now we face our third NFC North opponent in the Green Bay Packers. As for once, we're not going to Lambeau Field. This game is taking place at SoFi Stadium for once. Now, the Green Bay Packers, they are also coming off a loss that became competitive towards the end because, if we're being honest, the Minnesota Vikings was kicking the Green Bay Packers' ass, okay? Before you knew it, it was 28-0 in the second quarter, Minnesota. Okay? Opening drive, Minnesota goes down the field, touchdown. Packers missed a field goal. Minnesota yet again goes down, touchdown pass. Jordan Love does his first of 3 picks. Vikings turn it into a touchdown. It was an ass whooping in the first half. That's what it was. It was an ass whooping in the first half. And then the second half took place, and then Jordan Love started to look like Jordan Love because he brought him all the way back from 28-7 at halftime to 22-28 before the Vikings decided to actually put a field goal. The only points of the second half was a field goal to make it 31-22. And then the Packers scored a touchdown to make it 29-31. Vikings recovered an onside kick. That ends the game. Packers lose 29-31 to the Minnesota Vikings, dropping them to 2-2 on the season. And the Minnesota Vikings, which is probably the most surprising team of the season, at 4-0 with Sam Darnold at the helm. Now, Jordan Love did not have a great game. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you. He did fall back. First game back from his injury. 32 for 54, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You can have stats like that when you're down 28-0 and then 28-7 at halftime. So you got only thing you can do is actually throw the goddamn ball all over the place to get yourself back in the game, which he was able to do. Jalen Reed, 7 catches, 139 yards and a touchdown. Dontavion Wicks had 2 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. So it wasn't good. Josh Jacobs was taken out of the game early. When I say taken out of the game early, not injured, but when I say taken out of the game early, they fell down 28-0 already, so you couldn't really run the football like that. So he only had 9 carries for 51 yards. That was about it. Even though he was averaging 5.7 yards a carry. 5.7 yards a carry. That's a great average, okay? So they got 2 teams here coming to SoFi Stadium, both coming off losses. Packers are 3-point favorites on the road, and this game is on CBS. I don't know why, but it's on CBS, and I won't complain by being on CBS. Then again, let me make sure, because they do tend to change some things around every once in a while. I'm not used to seeing an NFC tip battle in CBS, so I'm guessing they not regulate themselves into certain conferences anymore with these stations now. And so look, 425 CBS, which is an interesting move. 3-point underdogs are the Rams at home. Christian Watkins will not be playing in this game. That's what for the Packers, but we already know Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua will not be playing. This is the last game for Puka Nacua to miss and to be able to come back from the injury reserve. We have a bye week 6, which gives him an extra week. So week 7, when we see the Las Vegas Raiders back at home after our bye week at SoFi Stadium, hopefully we have Puka Nacua back, and we'll see about Cooper Kupp then. There's one has been activated. I mean, he has been activated off the they have opened up that window for him to practice. So we'll see how he feels today, tomorrow, possibly Saturday, to see if Darius Williams will finally make his season debut for the Rams this season as the Packers come crawling into town. Now, Jordan Love, after missing 2 games, he has 6 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions. He threw, like we just talked about, he threw 3 Sunday against Minnesota. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. He almost had 1,000 yards passing already. Josh Jacobs, 71 carries, 329 yards. Kyren Williams, 73 carries, 258 yards and 5 touchdowns. 2 teams that's battling injuries. 1 team battling injuries more than another, but still, this is not going well for either team right now, but it was better for the Packers than do the Rams. The Rams having a hard time scoring. We can't settle for field goals, even though Josh Cartney is doing a pretty good job being a free. He only missed 1 field goal thus far in his rookie season, but he's doing a damn good job. But we need to put touchdowns on the board, not field goals at this point in time. Both teams can pass the ball, both top 10 in passing. They're right behind each other. Rams 8th in passing, Packers 9th in passing. Packers can run the football, though. They have Josh Jacobs, so they can run the football. Okay? So they run the football 174.5% per game. That's included them only rushing for 86 yards last week against the Vikings. While we run for 88 yards a game, which is 28th in the league. Use Kyren Williams, Sean McVay. Packers, they can get to the quarterback. They have 13 sacks through 4 games. The Rams have 7 sacks through 4 games. We're not even getting 2 sacks a game. That's a damn shame. And we talking about the number 1 team in turnover to battle. The Green Bay Packers have 8 interceptions. The Rams only have 1. So Stafford, be careful with the football. Because if you turn the ball over against them, we're going to have some problems. So I don't need you turning the ball over, okay, sir? Do not turn the ball over. Play fundamental, sound football, okay? It's on the Jordan Love's 2nd game back from his knee injury. He's not 100%, so do your damn job, Chuck Schuler. Make sure this defense is on point. Make sure this defense understands what the mission is. Sean McVay, use the running game to protect Matthew Stafford. And we should be able to go in our bye week 2 and 3 on the season with still a chance to make a wild card. That's it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Because if we lose this game and we go into our bye week 1 and 4, I don't know. I just don't That's going to do it for this episode of Ramily Talk. Hopefully, we can do what we need to do. And then think I'm going to take next week off with the Rams on a bye week. I'm going to come back in 2 weeks. I haven't decided. I haven't officially decided yet, but it's leaning towards me taking next week off, then coming back and get ready for week 7 with the Rams as we get ready to host the Las Vegas Raiders for week 7 of the NFL season. So I'll make sure I let y'all know what we're doing a Ramily Talk next week. Are we going to wait 2 weeks for that part? But other than that, thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Playmakers Blog, YouTube channel. All right. As wherever you can find the Ramily Talk at. So those of you, enjoy your week 5 and possibly week 6 of the NFL season. And I'll see y'all within the next 2 weeks. Deuces. For tuning into Ramily Talk. Ramily Talk is sponsored by Fanatics, Lids, and Paramount Plus. Get your favorite sports appeal with Fanatics or Lids, and get great streaming service with Paramount Plus. If you want to donate to the program, you can donate to us via Cash App, $D Playmakers. That is again, $D Playmakers. And remember, you can follow and subscribe to Ramily Talk on all podcast directories, including Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. And those of you who are on Apple, leave us a rate review, leave comments on how you feel about Ramily Talk and the episode that you listen to. Tune in again next time for more Ramily Talk, hosted by the Playmakers.